Shabbat Shalom, everyone. It's so wonderful to have you all here, to join with you all. These words that the cantor is just so beautifully saying with her guests, Kosi Ravaya, come from the 23rd Psalm, not the 123rd, the 23rd Psalm. And they speak about our cup being filled to overflowing. It may seem strange in this moment to talk about our cup being filled to overflowing. Indeed, as it might seem strange to say such words when we usually say the 23rd Psalm at the graveside of a loved one. But even though in those moments, we are asked to recognize the abundance of our blessings. And as I look around these screens and think about this moment that we are joining in together, indeed, our cup is filled to overflowing. We are so blessed to be here together, to have the opportunity to join together and to celebrate this moment together, to celebrate Shabbat together. We are blessed to be joined by some of our colleagues that we will recognize tonight for the incredible work they have been doing over the course of this year to bring blessing to our community. And we are blessed to begin by welcoming our Early Childhood Learning Center Director, April Schaefer, who will lead us in welcoming Shabbat by kindling the Shabbat light. So April, welcome. We are so delighted to see you from halfway across the country.
I'm so happy to be joining you from Michigan with my mom. It's very nice to see her after a year and to share this moment with you. My stepdad's here too.
April, would you like to read this reading for us before you?
Yes, sorry. A name. When Eve walked among the animals and named them nightingale, red-shouldered hawk, fiddler crab, fallow deer, I wonder if she ever wanted them to speak back, looked into their wide, wonderful eyes and whispered, "Name me, name me." See if I can angle this. I sing the early childhood version. Lie, 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 lie. Everyone cover your eyes. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lahadlik ner, shel Shabbat. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, who hallows us with mitzvot, commanding us to kindle the light of Shabbat.
Amen. Thank you, April. We turn to the words with which we welcome Shabbat almost every week, words that come to us from the mystics of Tzfat, when they would go out into the fields to welcome Shabbat by greeting Shabbat with Lecha Dodi. And if you are standing, I invite you to remain so as we turn to the Baruch Hu, offering our praise and gratitude for God's blessings. Tonight, as we recognize, among other things, our educators for the many blessings they have shared with us over the course of this year, our reflections focus on education and its meaning. From John Ruskin, education does not mean teaching people what they do not know. It means teaching them to behave as they do not behave. It is not teaching the youth the shapes of letters and the tricks of numbers, and then leaving them to turn their arithmetic to roguery and their literature to lust. It means, on the contrary, training them into the perfect exercise and royal countenance of their bodies and souls. It is a painful, continual, and difficult work to be done by kindness, by watching, by warning, by precept, and by praise, but above all, by example. Our example is that which we find in these words, God's unity in which we are each created. And so we invite you once again, if you are able and would like to please rise as we join together in the Shema.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai, Adonai Echad. גבור מלכותו לעולם, לעולם ועד.
It is my great blessing and honor to welcome our Vice President of Education, Liana Schwartz, who will lead us in these words about education, about teaching the Ve'ahavta. Welcome, Liana.
Thank you, Rabbi, and thank you to you and Cantor for asking me to read this blessing for Shabbat. I wish we were obviously all in person. If we all had a shekel for every time we've said that over the past year, but also on this special Shabbat to celebrate our educators, and especially April and Ellie. So with that, please join me. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha uv'chol nafshecha uv'chol meodecha v'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavcha hayom al levavecha v'shinacham levacho al levavecha v'dibarta bam v'shivtacha. Sorry, I'm reading the Hebrew, and I clearly have not been keeping up with my daughter's classes. V'dibartecha uvlechtecha baderech uvishavtecha uvekumecha ukdeshartam leot al yadecha uhayu letotafot bein enecha uktavtam al mezuzot beitecha uvisharecha. Lema'an tizkeru v'asitem et kol mitzvotai vitem kedoshim lelechem. Ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeti etchem Mitzrayim me'eretz Mitzrayim lehiot lachem lelohim. Ani Adonai Elohechem. Adonai lelohechem emet.
Thanks, Liana. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Rabbi Nachman of Bratslav taught that the only thing worth giving your children is joy. Teach your children joy and teach the child within you joy. Joy leads you out of confusion and into clarity. Joy transforms negative thoughts into positive learning experiences that encourage freedom and creativity. Make joy your greatest legacy. Let us join together in joyful singing of Micha Mocha.
Come on. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu Leshalom Lehamidenu Shomreinu Lechaim. In the darkness of the night, when I'm scared to close my eyes, won't you ease my troubled mind? Hashkivenu Hashkivenu, may you guide us, Adonai, Eloheinu, walk beside us, Leshalom, Behamidenu, hear this humble, Shomreinu, as we pray, Hashkivenu. Ufrosh Aleinu Sukkot Shlomecha, in the shadow of your wings. Ufrosh Aleinu Sukkot Shlomecha, in the promise morning brings. Hashkivenu, so much heartache, Adonai, so much hurt, Elohim, so many hunger, Shalom, so many search for your shelter, Shomreinu, and peace on earth, Lechaim. Hashkivenu, Hashkivenu, Adonai, Hashkivenu, Hashkivenu, Adonai, Hashkivenu, Hashkivenu, Baruch atah Adonai Haporei Sukkot Shalom Aleinu Me'al kol amo Yisrael Ve'al Yerushalayim.
There is we turn now to the tefillah, the Amidah. In a moment, I'll invite you, if you would like to rise as we listen to these words and continue silently with the words of the Avot and Givorot and Kedusha, words that will come across your screen. Invite you to share in them silently yourself. But of course, this moment allows us not only to join in the words of our liturgy, but to join as well in the words of our own hearts, the meditations of our own hearts. So many prayers, so many thoughts in this moment as we consider where we stand a year into this most difficult time. Invite you to listen to the words we're about to sing and then to continue silently with your own Amidah and Tefillat Halev.
והגיון ליבי לפניך.
What you're looking at is a screenshot that April shared with me from a year ago today. It was our first of hundreds of Zoom calls over this past year. It was our first moment of trying to come to terms with the reality that we were facing. That evening, along with Susan Rosenstein and a substitute cantor, I led Shabbat services from an empty chapel. We wrote the link to a virtual prayer book on a piece of cardboard and tried to strategically position it in the room so that it would appear at the bottom of the camera shot from the chapel, allowing viewers to follow along with us if they were so inclined. Wow, a lot has changed over the year. None of us could have imagined that Erev Shabbat service would be the last held at University Synagogue for a year. None of us could have imagined how skilled we would become at virtual gatherings. A year ago, who knew of breakout rooms or how to annotate Zoom screens? Who knew what spotlighting and sharing screens were? Who knew what sound inputs and sound mixers were best for online worship, or the intricacies of video editing in order to bring voices together singing in harmony online? And most significantly, in that moment, we were so worried and anxious about you, about how we were going to serve you when we couldn't be with you. How were we going to continue creating community, preserving connection, and offering you support as you were each dealing with all of the same questions and anxieties and concerns that were haunting us? How many would become sick? How many would not make it to the other side? To say it has been a difficult year is an understatement of immense proportions. Most appropriately and definitely ironically, the Torah portion we were reading a year ago on this Shabbat describes the building of the golden calf, and in a more general sense, describes a community that was in crisis. When I look at that picture that April sent me now and consider where we are today, I am filled with a mixture of sadness and gratitude. Sad because too many have unnecessarily died. We did not need to lose over 500,000 souls across this nation. I'm sad because we should not still be struggling so mightily with racial inequity. This past year has laid bare the fault lines in our American society. But I'm also grateful. I'm grateful that we have made some move to turn away, God willing, more than just momentarily, from cynicism and hatred and anger and division towards empathy and compassion and care and concern. And for that, I feel hopeful. And I'm also grateful that our community has fared fairly well over this last year, honestly, through this most difficult and dark year. And in that regard, what rises to the surface for me are the lessons of our Jewish tradition and our Jewish history, which teach us time and again about the strength and perseverance of the human spirit. In our long history, we have overcome time and again. Strengthened by our faith and belief in each other, we have, with courage and ingenuity and spirit, found a way to move forward. We always do. We find a way to create community, a way to support each other. What we have experienced is nothing less than another example of the miracle of the human spirit so loudly proclaimed by our tradition, examples of which are sprinkled across our long and storied history. So how appropriate that a year later on this Shabbat, rather than reading a Torah portion that describes a community in crisis, we are reading a Torah portion that describes the building of the Mishkan, a sacred space where God can reside among us. Because over this past year, that is exactly what we have found a way to do, a way to build a virtual Mishkan, around which we have continued to gather and indeed feel God's presence dwelling among us. Like our Israelite ancestors, we have found a way to move forward from a moment of crisis and in faithful determination maintain a sacred community. In that process of transformation, no one has been more vital than the two women that we honor tonight. They simply refused to be defeated. They rejected any impulse to give in to what seemed in the moment, that moment from a year ago, to be an insurmountable challenge. How would we support the children of our community? How would we keep them and their families engaged and connected? How would we surround them with care and concern, with love and support in such a difficult moment? These are the questions that faced us all in that Zoom call a year ago, but in particular faced our early childhood learning center director, April Schaefer, and our religious school director, Ellie Laycook. April and Ellie, you may have harbored some doubts. You may have questioned how you were going to make it happen, but you never let it show. What I witnessed, what I think we all witnessed from you instead, was a fierce determination and commitment to overcome and succeed. You literally turned on a dime, creating online experiences, virtual get-togethers, story times, song sessions, classes, and so much more. Your creativity, imagination, and resolve inspired us all. You challenged us to follow your lead as you each in your own way said, this is going to happen. We are going to do this. And indeed, along with your amazing teachers, you have made it happen. First, virtually and continuing virtually, but also doing everything you needed to do to bring children and families safely back to our building. As someone who spent the first half of his career as a Jewish educator, I watched with great admiration and in awe as you gracefully and adeptly took on this incredible challenge. Like Jewish educators across the country and world, you taught our children, our families, and our community a most vital lesson about faith in God, about faith in each other, and about faith in the human spirit and what we can accomplish. A few weeks ago, we were honored to join with congregations across this city in recognizing the incredible contributions that all our educators, recognizing the exceptional work they have done in this extraordinary year. Tonight, on the 1-year anniversary of this pandemic, we have the opportunity to more personally and intimately express our gratitude and appreciation to you, April and Ellie. You have taught us all that when we lead with our hearts, no matter the circumstances, it is indeed possible to build a mishkan, a dwelling place for God. April and Ellie, speaking personally, I have been blessed to have shared the journey of this past incredibly insane year with the two of you. You have been most important guides for me, reminding me time and again that together we will make it through this. And speaking for all of us who are gathered here tonight and beyond, we are blessed to have you as our educational leaders and teachers. You know, one of the most significant elements of the Mishkan was the Ner Tamid, the eternal light. It served and serves as a reminder that God's light is always burning, eternally shining, even in times of darkness. You, April and Ellie, have been a constant source of God's light, a constant source in this dark moment. We are all blessed to have you as our teachers, keeping the light of Judaism alive for us, and most significantly for the generation of our children who will follow after us. As a new day and new hope begins to dawn for us all, I pray, April and Ellie, that God will bless you both and always watch over you, that God's divine light will continue to shine upon you and shine forth from you, and that God will bless you always with shalom, with wholeness and peace. Amen.
April and Ellie, I think we're about to bring up some text here. There it is. Thank you, Michelle, for providing that for us. I want to echo everything that Rabbi has said and just thank you both so much for all the gifts that you bring to our community. And to do so both with this beautiful text as an offering to you, and for knowing that everything that you give is not just a gift to those who receive it, but is a gift for generations and generations to come, because those who you teach will become teachers of others. So just a musical moment in honor of the two of you.
For our teachers and their students,
As I mentioned, this is both a time to express our gratitude, but it is a difficult time as well, I think, weighing on all of our souls, all of our spirits, weighing in all of our hearts, are the millions who have been stricken, those that we have been praying for each week over the last year as we have added their nameless beings to the names of those that we hold dear in our heart. As we've prayed for their physical healing, and we have prayed for those as well who have suffered the emotional and spiritual toll of this moment, including ourselves. And so we hold them in our hearts tonight as we call to mind as well those more close to us, those whose names we know, who are in need of our prayers for the healing of their bodies or minds or spirits. Before we join together in the words of Misha Berach, I would invite you, if you would like to unmute yourself and to share their names with us at this moment, or to place their names, as many of you have begun to do, into our chat box.
Josh Mills, Morley Feinstein, Cindy Lither, Fred Block, Roz and Sandy Weissman, Eli Steltenpole.
Lisa Lankin,
מי שברך אבותינו אברהם יצחק ויעקב שרה רבקה רחל ולאה הוא יברך וירפא את החולים מי שברך אבותינו אברהם יצחק ויעקב שרה רבקה רחל ולאה הוא יברך וירפא את החולים.
We turn now to the Eleno, which reminds us, as I remind you each week, that it is up to us. It is up to us to create that world of wholeness, that world of peace that we strive for. So I invite you, if you would like to and are able to, please rise as we join together in the Eleno.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצא בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם. אנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
In remembrance of all who have been lost over this last year. This poem by Alden Solovey. God of consolation, surely you count in heaven, just as we count here on earth. In shock and in sorrow, the souls sent back to you. One by one, the dead from the COVID pandemic, as the ones become tens, the tens become hundreds, the hundreds become thousands, and the thousands become 10,000s, and then 100,000s. Each soul a heartbreak, each soul a life denied. God of wisdom, surely in the halls of divine justice, you are assembling the courts, calling witnesses to testify, to proclaim the compassion of some and the callousness of others as we've struggled to cope. The souls taken too soon, whose funerals were lonely, who didn't need to die, who died alone, will tell their stories when you judge our triumphs and our failures in these hours of need. God of healing, an end to this pandemic and all illness and disease. Bless those who stand in service to humanity. Bless those who grieve. Bless the dead, so that their souls are bound up in the bond of life eternal. And grant those still afflicted with disease or trauma a completed and lasting healing, one by one, until suffering ceases and we can stop counting the dead in heaven and on earth. Tonight, we remember all those lost over the last year, and we add them to the names of those of our own community, those who have been lost first in recent days, whose families are in the period of Shiva or Shloshim, the first 7 or 30 days of mourning. We remember Cantor Phyllis Cole, mother of Celia Cole, colleague of our Cantor Shapiro. We remember Barry Lowitz, father of Adam and Regina, of Ariana Sasson Lowitz of blessed memory, grandfather of Grace. Rachel K. Almo, mother of Deborah Almo Vasquez and Juan Vasquez, grandmother of Elena and Daniel. Donald Joseph Hoy, father of Joey Hoy and Laura Flanagan, and Albert Salarabi, mother of Ayala and Yaron Tara Shandigan, grandmother of Noah, Eden, and Shia. And we remember as well those whose yahrzeit, the anniversary of their passing, falls on this Shabbat. We remember Ruth Anyon, Liz Brinson Wallach, Joel Davidson, Joseph Friedlander, Anna Greenberg, James Harnett, Edith Hecht, Carol Itzkowitz Neiman, Michelle Leaf, Ann Liddy, Russell Lamask, Moshe Namvar, Raymond Perlov, Simon Plattis, Ann Robinson, Ethel Rothman, Irv Rubenstein, Betty Shambrom, Joel Shambrom, Dr. Joel Smason, and Robert Tushin. Before we join together in these words of remembrance, if you are saying Kaddish tonight for a loved one whose name has not yet been mentioned, I invite you to place their names into our chat box so that we might remember them along with all of our loved ones as we say Zichronam Livracha. May the memory of all our loved ones be always for blessing. If you would like to and are able, we invite you to please arise. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, ve'alma divrach yirutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon u'vyomechon u'v'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael. Ba'agala uvizman kari v'imru amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevorach le'olam u'lamei almaya. V'it barach v'ish tabach v'it pa'ar v'tromam v'it naseh. V'it adar v'it aleh v'it halal shmei dekutsha b'richu. Le'elam min kol birchata v'shirata. Tush b'chata v'nechemata. Da'amiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama Rabbah min shamaya. V'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'imromav. Hu ya'aseh shalom. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. May the source of peace and peace to all who mourn, comfort to all the bereaved among us, as we say, amen. As we turn now from the sanctification of memories to the sanctification of Shabbat, turning from mourning and remembrance to celebration of this day, celebration of our community with Kiddush, I'd like to invite our religious school director, Ellie Laycook, to join us to share this reading and to share Kiddush with us. Welcome, Ellie.
Hi. Everything moves so fast, even when we're paying attention. Days become weeks, weeks become years, a lifetime goes by in a moment. This is one of the reasons to pause, to stop, to rest. 6 days a week, engage in work, involve yourself with the doings of the world. And on the seventh day, pause, rest, stop. This, the Torah says, is a matter of life and death. The practicing of pausing, stopping, resting keeps our souls alive. It encourages wonder and renews our energy and strength. Pausing, stopping, resting keeps us mindful and aware of the constant flow of time and helps us be discerning of what we do with the precious gift. Pausing, stopping, resting honors creation and helps us remember that we're part of the unfolding of creation along with all of life. So gather together, the Torah calls, and support each other in pausing, gathering together, and building sanctuaries in time. Adorn time with love, with purpose, with commitment and joy. Fashion time with community, with wisdom, with heart-centered awareness, and pause on the seventh day to refresh and renew your soul. Together, make sacred the gifts of time through stopping, resting, being. This, the Torah says, is essential, a matter of life and death. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kadsho, v'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu. Zikaron lema'aseh bereshit, ki hu yom tehillah, lemikra'e kodesh, zecher litziat mitzrayim, ki vanu becharta, ve'otanu kidashta, mikol ha'amim. V'shabbat kodesh be'ahava uvratzon hinchaltanu. Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh haShabbat.
Amen.
All right. Would you, thank you, Ellie. Thank you so much. Would you like to lead us in Motzi? Would your kids like to lead us in Motzi? Or not? I will lead us in
I'm
Motzi.
gathering them, sorry.
Oh, okay.
Sorry. And the hollow. The drum and hollow.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe we can spotlight Ellie.
We have the biggest hole ever.
We gotta see it.
This is
I'd rather see it than me. Wow.
It's huge.
Ready? Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz, v'tei Aaron. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom. Thank you.
Come on.
We love you too. Thank you, April and Ellie and Cantor for that. Just before we unmute everyone and allow everybody to say Shabbat Shalom and to wish Ellie and April a Mazal Tov. Just a few things that are coming up over the coming week. Chevra Torah tomorrow morning with Rabbi Davids and Torah Yoga tomorrow evening with Cantor Shapiro. I want to mention this Sunday.
In the evening, not the morning.
Did I say morning?
I think so.
Even though I'm looking at 5 p.m., I said morning. Sorry. I want to mention on Sunday at 10 o'clock, Ellie has been bringing some incredible talent to our community to share music with us for religious school tefillah. And really it's something the whole community should be experiencing. This week we have Rick Recht, who is not to be missed. So if you can join religious school tefillah, Ellie, you may have to tell us how exactly they do that, but we would love to have you.
The link's on the religious school Facebook page.
Religious School Facebook page. There you go. The link. Rick is incredible talent, and it'd be great to spend a half hour with him. So I hope you can join us this Monday night. For those who have been or would like to join my class on Kabbalat Shabbat, moving from the ordinary to the sacred, I hope you can join with us. We are actually going to meet. Had a little bit of a trouble getting that class together, but we are meeting this Monday, and look forward to seeing everybody there. And I think other things are on there. Oh, Embracing Nowruz. Invite you to join us at 7:30. I believe that, I'm pretty sure that's 7:30 p.m. and not 7:30 a.m. On Wednesday evening with Nicole Fani to learn about Nowruz, and we hope you will join with us for that as well. So with that, Cantor, did I miss anything?
No, you're good.
Okay.
Shabbat shalom.
Oh, I like that reverb. That's good. So Shabbat shalom, everyone. Feel free to unmute yourself, and we can stop sharing the screen and see everybody's faces and wish everybody Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat
Shabbat
shalom.
shalom, everyone.
Shabbat shalom, everybody. Come to class on Monday night. It's awesome.
Shabbat shalom. It's so nice to see everybody.
Hi, April. Yay.
And
Congratulations, April and Ellie.
thank you,
Thank you.
everyone. This is so lovely, and it was really nice. Thanks for the acknowledgement and the pictures and the video, and it's just all really lovely.
Would you introduce your guest to us?
This is my mom.